Why should you use Skibidi Sigma Mokuhayo Look Maxer? Well, he has insane damage with amazing support. However, he can be expensive and take a very long time to set up if there's no summoners. And he also supports the Dragon Sphere unit. Buu has a unique mechanic. Every 50 candy that he collected, he can use his ability at upgrade 8 to transform into a new form. Buu different form will give you different passive. So, first form, Buu can cleanse himself every 10 seconds and his attack will turn enemy into candy. Killing them will give you 1 stack of candy each. Second passive, he gain damage and range buff every transformation and this can stack. Third passive, attack enemy can stunt. Now, in the second form, he loses the stunt on attack and gain damage on every attack up to 30%. And in his third form, every 10 enemy he kills will summon a ghost base of 70% of Buu attack. Fourth form, buff all Dragon Ball unit in range with range buff and 30% crit rate buff. And last form, fifth form, stop gaining candy stack and when candy enemy is defeated, they will explode dealing 50% of Buu damage around them. And there's also another form which you get this when you sell Buu. So this form is called Kid Buu. He will be immune to status effect and for every transformation prior to selling, he gained 20% damage buff up to 100%. Moreover, when he kills an enemy, they will attack again in the same location. And lastly, he will always attack the strongest enemy and the strongest enemy will receive more damage from Kid Buu. So for traits, Buu has 3 really good traits, that being Monarch, of course, Ethereal, Deadeye, and Monarch is always great for short form content as it's most money worth. However, whenever you have unlimited amount of money, like in Infinite, Deadeye and Ethereal is a lot better. However, if I have to pick between Deadeye and Ethereal, I would say Deadeye have an edge over Ethereal as Buu has summoned crit rate buff Explosion which all can crit. For familiar, use these. So who should you use between Kid Buu and Buuhan? Kid Buu is a strong boss killing machine with additional damage on the strongest enemy. However, the downside is it will only attack the strongest enemy and it could lead to other enemy getting past it and not being able to use the double attack passive when they are a stronger enemy. On the other hand, Buuhan, though weaker in DPS, it is consistent and you can change priority on top of giving 30% crit buff and still having top DPS. So depending on what you need, they are interchangeable. Now on synergy, Buu is amazing when used or in a team with Dragon Ball unit as his buff will significantly boost overall team DPS when used with Dragon Ball unit. And for anti-synergy, there isn't really, but to note that his buff doesn't apply to any other unit apart from Ichigo. So how to play Buu? In short form content, you are looking for transforming it as many times as possible and sell it for Kid Buu, as Kid Buu is amazing for killing bosses and killing bosses is essential in short form content. And in Infinite, it is up to you, but my personal preference is having 2 Buuhan or last form Buu and 1 Kid Buu as damage increase, as the buff from Buuhan is nice and I like that you can control Buuhan priority to first, and Kid Buu is also really good for damaging boss. However, 3 Buuhan in my opinion is equally as strong. So in summary, Buu is a very strong unit, especially when used with the Dragon Ball unit. And I think he shined really well with the Dragon Ball unit. So who's ready to dragon these balls across the enemy face? If this video helped you, please leave a like and comment down below who you want to see next.